Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Praise El Shaddai, praise El Shaddai. Look, man, man, I want to say this. I'm going to get off this subject real quick. If anybody is a mold, they will be exposed. Okay? I'm not into who's, I'm not, I'm not on, I'm going to sit up here. If you believe that Dana J is a mold, y'all still want to talk about Dana J and this person, that person, hey, go right ahead, have at it. But if anybody's a mold, if anybody that's a part of, that's a mold, God gonna handle him, man. I'm not, I just feel like we waste so much time and energy on nonsense. What I mean by that, unnecessary energy that should be go elsewhere. And I just don't understand it, man. If anybody's a mold, because if anybody's a mold, they're going to be exposed. It is what it is. So that's in God's hands. They're going to be exposed. El Shaddai is going to take care of all of it. When it comes to that situation there. I'm not getting into who, because at first, we was talking about Levi, Levi wasn't his cousin. At this point in time, how I feel, I don't even care about that no more. I'm not into that no more, about somebody being somebody's cousin. That's not even important to me. You know what I'm saying? That's not important. It's really not. It's not even important anymore, man. It's not even important about who's a moles, and we know people that's inside this camp. We know certain individuals, what they did. We already know. I'm not here trying to defend nobody. I'm just saying, it's like we're doing the same thing we did in 2019. We're talking about Dana J. We're talking about Levi. It's the same old story, man. It's sad, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm gonna get off this. This video is about Dave Chappell. This is gonna be real quick about Mr. Dave Chappell. Dave Chappell. Dave Chappell, man. To me, look, man. It's interesting that Dave Chappell did that comedy sketch about R. Kelly peeing on a 15-year-old girl, right? And he did he did a stand-up about that many years ago. Everybody laughed at that. Everybody was making fun of R. Kelly, making fun of the 15-year-old joke. But nobody really paid attention to that 2008 trial. Nobody went back in time and looked at that case, revisit that case. Yes, Dave Chappelle did a stand-up special called Sticks and Stones. He said that they want him to go on that documentary, and he said, I don't know him. But yet he said, if I was a betting man, I would have said he did it, right? Okay. But if you look at Dave Chappelle when he did that comedy sketch, right? And you look at the end, you look at all the people he made fun of. He made R. Kelly, Rick James. I said what I said about Rick James yesterday, right? But he didn't make fun of Roman Polanski. He didn't make fun of Rob Lowe, who was on the video. What an underage girl. And he knew he was with an underage girl, Rob Lowe. Right? He didn't make fun of Woody Allen. He didn't make fun of Mick Jagger. He didn't make fun of Rod Stewart. Okay? He didn't make fun of Ted Nugent. But he makes fun of R. Kelly, the P joke. See, that's why I think Dave Chappelle, back then, the sketch, the Chappelle show was funny. It was, for what it was. And I think that him and Paul Mooney, they had a falling out. They had a big falling out, man. And Paul Mooney warned him that the white folks he gonna mess around. The Romans, the Europeans, he kind of backstabbed Paul Mooney, And what happened? He left, ran to Africa. See, I'm just letting you know. It is what it is. I don't know the whole. I don't know. I don't really have the whole story, but I heard some rumors about him kind of backstabbing Paul Mooney. They made up, but at the end of the day, Paul Mooney warned him about these people don't love you like you think they do. You understand what I'm saying? He warned them, and he kind of backstabbed Paul Mooney with that whole Wayne Brady thing. I don't know the whole details about that, but he kind of like, Dave Chappelle, man. Look, I know y'all love Dave Chappelle. And he, some of his stand-up was kind of funny because we just love to laugh. We just love laughing, and we laugh at our own selves. We laugh at our own pain. Now realizing that we just basically making fun of each other for the so-called, the Romans. I'm sorry, the Europeans, making fun of ourselves. And they made, yes, I'm not. They said, well, Dave, he talk about everybody. Oh, he does. But go back and look at that Chappelle show. But if you look at that last comedy special he just did, Closer, and some of the people he was hanging around with, you saw Chance the Rapper, you saw a picture of him with Jerry Seinfeld, who met his wife when she was 17 years old. Ooh, boy. And you saw the one and only Mick Jagger. Yes, y'all, Mick Jagger. But you heard Dave Chappelle on there defending Louis C.K. Scott, whatever his name is. I think that's the comedian name who said the N-word, who said some racist stuff. Look, I'm not pro-black, but I'm calling it hypocrisy in the so-called black community. And I did sign the petition for Dave Chappelle because I have nothing personally against Dave Chappelle. I don't want to see nothing happen to the brother. I don't want to see them counsel him. I don't think they're going to counsel him because it's not going to happen. But they're not done with him, y'all. They're not done with Dave Chappelle. They're not done with him. You see, brothers and sisters, if you don't give your life to God, man, if you don't give your life to El Shaddai, you keep following these false prophets, because no matter what at the end of the day, there's only one God, man. There's only one God. No matter how you try to go to this, go to that, and try to flip it and try to change it, there's only one God. And I'm not here to disrespect anybody's religion. There's only one God. So, Mr. Chappelle, he's a big boy. He be okay. He has a huge fan base. They love Dave Chappelle. There's no way they're going to counsel that dude because everybody watched that show, Sticks and Stones. Everybody watched it Closer. So people love him. What did Faison Love say? The Romans love Dave. The Europeans love Dave Chappelle. So he gets away with a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get away with. And I know people that said Richard Pryor wasn't from their era. I had a conversation with a younger man. He's like 37 years old. Richard Pryor went from their era. No, Richard Pryor's not from a lot of people's era. But Richard Pryor, to me, there will never be another Richard Pryor, man, that's doing stand-up comedy. Richard Pryor don't have to do 12,000 stand-ups to stamp him as the greatest stand-up comedian ever. Okay, storyteller. You know what I'm saying? And that N-word, he stopped using it. And when he stopped using it, he didn't have to use the N-word to be funny. He didn't have to use that. And I'm not saying that I don't laugh at comedians that use the word on stage. I ain't talking about that. Paul Mooney was funny without the. Paul Mooney did use the N-word, but I'm saying Paul Mooney was funny to me because he made people feel uncomfortable. Everybody. Paul Mooney was very funny on stage as a stand-up. I like that George Collins as a comedian. Yeah, he was very controversial. Some of the things he said about religion, but the dude was funny as a stand-up. I'm talking about stand-up. I'm not talking about no movies. We're not talking about Eddie Murphy because he did Raw and Delirious, which only 2 stand-up. I'm talking about stand-up. I like Eddie Griffith as a stand-up. I like Corey Holcomb as a stand-up comedian. Stand-up. Comedy. Dick Gregory was a great stand-up comedian. Red Fox was a great stand-up comedian. Okay, stand-up. Robin Harris was a great stand-up. Bernie Mac was a great stand-up comedian. Okay? I'm not going to sit, I mean, I like Dave Chappelle. Don't get me wrong. I like Dave Chappelle, some of his stand-up. Okay? I think some of you guys haven't seen a lot of stand-up. You look at Dave Chappelle because he's been, for the past 10 the Dave Chappelle show, you looked at their comedy sketches and you looked at Prince and what he did about Prince and R. Kelly and Rick James. I'm Rick James, Rick. I'm Dave Chappelle. And that's what you see. Some of you don't even remember the Wayans brothers and the Living Color. Damon Wayans' stand-up was pretty funny. Go back and look at some of their stand-up. Damon Wayans. Cat Williams' stand-up is funny. Okay? There's a lot of stand-up comedians to me, and I'm not saying that Dave Chappelle is not funny. I'm just saying, if you look at some of these comedies, man, comedians, that I've seen other ones, that I say, okay, I like Dave Chappelle. Some of the stuff he does is, but it's not like, to me, when it comes to Richard Pryor and others I've seen before him, it's nobody, have nothing to do with no age. It got nothing to do with that. I'm talking about as a storyteller, nobody, when it came to changing the style of comedy, changing the comedy forever, Richard will hold that title. You know what I'm saying? As a stand-up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Richard. But Richard will hold that title, man. So it is what it is. And I know that people are like, well, man, Rich, I told the guy saying, Dave Chappelle is not young. He ain't that young. See, y'all look at this guy make fun of drug addicts, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's fun, might be funny to some people, but some people might look at that, and think that's not funny to them. But back then, I laughed at everything he did. But I gotta look at this guy like, wait a minute. When Michael Jackson was alive, they made fun of Michael Jackson. Not Dave Chappelle, but you had Chris Rock, Cat Williams, Earthquake, Charlie Murphy, D.L. Hewley, and other comedians dogging Michael Jackson. And they were not jokes of, like, oh, it's Michael Jackson. They were like really just dogging him. There's an interview Eddie Murphy did on Conan O'Brien talking about how the jokes he said about Michael, it was like, he was teasing Michael, but it wasn't like just dogging him. They were dogging him, man. They were dog walking Michael Jackson. I told you the jokes that those comedians just said about Michael Jackson were not flattering, man. They were not flattering. I said that. Now Eddie Griffin and Michael, they were, Michael had a sense of humor, but Eddie Griffin and Eddie Murphy, the jokes were not. You look at some of the jokes that Eddie Murphy did, and Eddie Griffin said about Michael, it was totally different from what the other comedians said. But when it comes to R. Kelly, y'all want to reference R. Kelly, the Boondocks, a show that's a cartoon that trolls their own race. Come on, man. Some of you are so idiotic and so damn brainwashed by a cartoon. That is why the Europeans has brainwashed us. Well, Dave Chappelle said it. It must be true. And I thought some of y'all were so conscious, so woke. That's what I'm looking, I'm like, are you serious? Did you really go back and look at that 2008 trial of R. Kelly? If he did all these things, why did these artists work with him? If he was such a monster, why did Jay-Z work with him? Why did all these artists hung around him and work with him? Come on, man. But when it comes to the people the Romans, I'm talking about the Europeans and their community, they actually really did it, but they protect them. They protect their Woody Allens. They protect their Roman Polanskis. You can't say nothing about them. Elvis Presley's. Even though they actually really did it. They really did these things. When it came to R. Kelly, it was just rumors and allegations. And what I'm saying, I'm not here to defend moral bad behavior, but at the end of the day, What is the difference between R. Kelly and Hugh Hefner? And he didn't really have, I mean, he didn't have about 20 girlfriends, 5, 6, 7 girlfriends in the house. But I'm saying, what's the difference? Hugh Hefner, what, 6, 7, 8 girlfriends in his house, 18 to 23 years old? What is the difference, y'all? What did Hugh Hefner do? Oh, I get it. He's a man that identify as being Jewish, and he's white. Oh, I'm sorry, Roman. I'm sorry, European. And I know people say that, you know, what R. Kelly did, it was a sin. Lust is a sin, but it's not considered illegal to be put away for the rest of their life. So we're going to pray for Robert Sylvester Kelly. We're also going to pray for the accusers, because it's obvious the man was set up. And people need to really go back and look at that trial in 2008. Okay? And we gotta take a look at her word. We gotta take for what the people said about that whole marriage, that whole annulment. Because there's a lot of the stuff that goes on. When you want to sell records, you do anything to sell records, man. It is what it is. I'm out of here, man. If you believe everything the media tells you, then you're nothing but a brainwashed slave. Nowadays, you're just a damn fool. So free yourself. Free your mind and free your soul and give it to the Lord Jesus Christ. If you do that, I guarantee you, everything will be all right. With that being said, love is God and God is love. My name is Calvin Eugene. I love you, but Jesus loves you more. Gotta go, man. Peace.